Kewpie Mayonnaise. It's richer, creamier, and more flavorful than any mayo most people have tried. One taste and regular mayonnaise just doesn't hit the same. So what makes Kewpie so different? It's not just the bottle or the clever marketing, it's the way it's made, and a production method refined over more than a century. Let's step inside the factory to see how it all comes together, from the eggs, to the emulsion, to that iconic squeeze bottle. Let's start with the most important part, the eggs. Regular mayonnaise uses whole eggs. Kewpie? Only the yolks. No egg whites, just pure, rich yolk. And that changes everything. Egg yolks are packed with fat and emulsifiers. They create a thicker, creamier texture and a deeper, more intense flavor. Whole eggs dilute that richness. They make mayo lighter, fluffier, but also blander. Kewpie doesn't do bland. Then there's the vinegar. Most mayonnaise uses distilled white vinegar or lemon juice. Sharp, acidic, one note. Kewpie, on the other hand, uses a blend of rice vinegar and apple cider vinegar. It's softer, slightly sweet, with a mellow tang that doesn't overpower, and the result is a mayonnaise that tastes deeper, more savory. A mayonnaise that is not just a condiment, it's a flavor enhancer. This is why chefs use it, why people become obsessed with it, and why once you try Kewpie, regular mayo feels incomplete. And that difference starts right from the very first step in the factory. Kewpie produces over 25 million bottles of mayonnaise every month. That's not a small operation, that's industrial precision. So let's have a look at what goes into it. First, egg yolks. Not dozens, not hundreds, but thousands of eggs arrive at the factory every single day. They come from contracted farms and pre-inspected for quality. The eggs get cracked by machines, automated separators that split yolk from white in seconds. The yolks are collected and stored in refrigerated tanks. The whites sent off to be used in other products. Next, oil. Vegetable oil, soybean oil, sometimes a blend. It arrives in massive tanker trucks and gets pumped into storage silos that hold thousands of liters. Oil is the base. It's what gives mayonnaise its body, its texture, its mouthfeel, and Kewpie uses a lot of it. The ratio is very carefully controlled. Too much oil and the mayo becomes greasy. Too little and it won't emulsify properly. Then, vinegar. Rice vinegar and apple cider vinegar, blended to exact specifications. It's stored in stainless steel tanks, temperature controlled to preserve acidity and flavor. The vinegar doesn't just add tang. Finally, seasoning. Salt, sugar, MSG, spices. Each one measured down to the gram. These are pre-mixed into a seasoning blend that gets added at precise intervals during production. Every ingredient has a role. Every measurement matters. Because when you're making millions of bottles, consistency is everything. And now that the ingredients are ready, it's time to turn them into mayonnaise. If you're enjoying this breakdown so far, hit that like button and consider subscribing. We've got more factory tours, food science, and behind-the-scenes breakdowns coming your way. All right, let's see what happens to those eggs. Thousands of eggs arrive in crates stacked high on pallets. From there, they move onto a conveyor belt. One by one, smooth, continuous, without stopping. The belt feeds them into an automated cracking machine. And this is where things get impressive. The machine doesn't smash the eggs. It cracks them with a precise, controlled strike that splits the shell without breaking the yolk inside. The shell halves separate, and the contents drop into a collection tray below. And the key part is that the yolk and white don't stay together. It's a series of small cups and channels. The white is thinner, more liquid. It drains away immediately. The yolk, thicker and denser, rolls gently into a separate channel. It all happens in less than a second per egg. And the machine processes hundreds of eggs per minute. The yolks slide down into a stainless steel collection tank. The whites get funneled into a different system, redirected to be pasteurized and sold for other products like baking mixes, protein powders, food manufacturing. Every part of the egg has value and nothing is wasted. But it's the yolks that matter here. Hundreds of liters of rich, thick yolks accumulate in the tank. Quality sensors monitor the flow and cameras check for shell fragments. Because mayonnaise is an emulsion, and emulsions are fragile. One impurity, one inconsistency, and the whole batch can fail. So the yolks have to be perfect. Only the cleanest, purest ones move forward. And once the tanks are full and the quality checks pass, the yolks get pumped into the next stage. That's where the real transformation begins. The yolks get pumped into massive stainless steel mixing tanks. Then the oil starts flowing, but not all at once. It's added slowly in a thin, steady stream controlled by precision pumps. Oil and egg yolk don't naturally mix. Oil is hydrophobic. It repels water, and egg yolk contains water. If they're dumped together, they separate. They sit in layers, refusing to blend. But if the oil is added gradually, drop by drop, stream by stream, the mixing blades spin fast and constant. They churn the yolks and oil together, forcing them into contact. The lecithin in the egg yolk acts as an emulsifier. It grabs onto both the oil and the water, holding them together in a stable suspension. And slowly, the mixture starts to change. At first, it's thin, runny, almost liquid, but as more oil gets added, it starts to thicken. The texture shifts. It becomes creamy, smooth, dense. You can see it happening in real time. The mixture clings to the sides of the tank. It moves slower and heavier. This is mayonnaise forming. Not instantly, not magically, but through controlled, deliberate emulsification. The vinegar gets added during this stage too. It sharpens the flavor, stabilizes the emulsion, and keeps everything from breaking apart. The mixing continues for several minutes. At this stage, temperature sensors track the heat. If the mixture gets too warm, the emulsion can destabilize. If it's too cold, it won't blend properly. So the tanks are jacketed. Eventually, the mixture reaches the right consistency. It looks like mayonnaise. It moves like mayonnaise. And yet, it's still not finished. A pre-mixed blend gets added to the emulsion. Salt, sugar, MSG, spices. Each ingredient measured to the exact gram. This is where the mayonnaise becomes Kewpie. The blades spin again, slower and gentler this time, just enough to fold the seasoning in without breaking the emulsion. The salt enhances the richness. The sugar balances the tang. The MSG amplifies the savory depth. And the spices add that subtle complexity that makes Kewpie taste different from anything else. The mixture then gets sampled, tested, adjusted if needed. And once it's perfect, once every sensor confirms consistency, flavor, and texture, it moves to the final stage, packaging. The finished mayonnaise gets pumped into filling machines. Bottles move down the conveyor belt fast, continuous, and perfectly spaced. Each iconic Kewpie bottle, soft, squeezable plastic with the baby logo. The bottles then move to the capping station. Lids get twisted on tight and secure. Next comes the labeling. Finally, the bottles get grouped, packed into boxes, sealed, and stacked on pallets. From raw egg yolks to finished product, the entire process takes less than a few hours, thousands of bottles every single day. So where did Kewpie come from? Let's go back to 1925 Japan, post-World War I. A man named Toshiro Nakashima had just returned from studying food science in the United States and Europe. And while he was there, he discovered something that fascinated him: mayonnaise. In the West, it was already a staple, a common condiment. But in Japan, almost no one had heard of it. Nakashima saw an opportunity. He didn't want to just copy Western mayonnaise and sell it in Japan. He wanted to make something different, something that fit Japanese tastes and needs. So he started experimenting. Western mayonnaise used whole eggs. Nakashima decided to use only egg yolks. He also adjusted the vinegar. Instead of harsh distilled vinegar, he used a blend that was softer and more balanced, closer to the delicate flavors Japanese cuisine valued. And he added MSG, not as a shortcut, but as an intentional flavor enhancer, something that would make the mayonnaise taste deeper. His goal was more than just to create a condiment. He wanted to improve nutrition in Japan. Eggs were a valuable source of protein and fat, and mayonnaise was a way to make them more accessible and appealing, especially to children. In 1925, he launched his product under the brand name Kewpie, inspired by the popular Kewpie doll, a chubby, cheerful baby character that symbolized health and happiness. The bottle featured the baby logo. The mayonnaise inside was unlike anything Japan had tasted before. Kewpie Mayonnaise became a hit. Families used it on salads, sandwiches, rice dishes. Chefs incorporated it into recipes. It became a kitchen staple. By the 1950s, Kewpie was a household name across Japan. By the 1980s and 90s, it started spreading internationally, first to Japanese communities abroad, then to mainstream markets in the US, Europe, and Asia. Today, Kewpie produces over 300 million bottles a year. It's sold in over 30 countries, It's used by home cooks and Michelin star chefs alike. What started as one man's experiment in 1925 has become a global icon that today is almost everywhere. So there you have it. That's how Kewpie Mayonnaise came to be and how it's made. From egg yolks to emulsification to that iconic squeeze bottle, it's not just mayonnaise, it's a century of refinement, a product designed to be better from the very beginning. So now I want to hear from you. How do you use Kewpie on sandwiches, in sushi, mixed into sauces? Drop your favorite way to use it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into how your favorite foods are actually made, hit that like button and subscribe. We've got more factory tours, food science, and behind-the-scenes breakdowns coming your way. Until next time, thanks for watching.